showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
All right. Oh my God. Yeah, we are back, man. Did we just miss a week? I think we just missed a week. I'm pretty sure we missed a week. I know y'all listening to this show. You're like, oh no, but you decided to drop a show this week. How nice. How nifty. Yes, I am back. I'm so sorry, folks. I am so sorry. I sincerely apologize for missing an episode last week. As you already know, sometimes things happen. I was going to even drop like a little like in between, like in the meantime, in between time. And I haven't done that like in so long, like these little pieces that I just talk about random things just to plug in the show as far as content is concerned. I didn't even get to do that. And I do apologize. And I was kept on telling myself I'm doing. There's so many things. A couple days ago, I got to go to the gym. There's just so little time I went to the gym, and I told this person, I was like, wow, I'm getting in the gym at 9:25. And she was like, it's 9:25. I'm like, no, I was in the parking lot talking for at least 45 minutes. And then to me, that hour, I mean, it was a necessary talk that needed to happen, but still at the same time, I'm like, there's but so much hours in a day, man. There's so much hours in a day, and when you constantly look at that time and you look at that watch and you're burning hours, and I know I'm going to take at least an hour and a half, 2 hours in the gym, and then I have to shoot back, and I'm already like thinking of everything that I need to go through for the day, and next thing you know, you blink your eyes, it's already like 3 o'clock towards the end of the day, where regular folk, when they work a 9 to 5, they're almost ready to go home. But as founders, there is no off switch, and I know, and I even said this to my wife. I was like, I want to be in a position where you work your time, you go home, you spend time with the family, you chill out and do all these other things. But there are going to be days where you just can't do it because you just got to push out certain things. But it's work-life balance. It's all about work-life balance, and I just couldn't push in the show for you guys because there were so many other things that were going on. And as far as recent developments is with the fam and everything, like, it's crazy, man. I'll tell you guys about that a little later. But yeah, I'm glad to be back for another show that I'm trying to get in between 45 minutes. Again, as I said, time is of the essence, and it waits for no man and woman. So I'm going to just get this show cracking, rocking and rolling. I'm going to talk about a little things that I didn't get to talk about, and that I'm trying to squeeze in for this show. So let's get this thing going. I am your host, Nova Phoenix, on GCOM Radio, on iHeartRadio. And we're going to get this with the first topic, of course, as everybody's probably super tired of the Will and Chris situation at the Oscars. Yeah, I spoke about it a little bit, and I went at length, and I gave him my 2 cents. But yeah, as everybody knows, Will resigned. I mean, from the Academy. He got 10 years. He can't show up to the show, to the Oscars. He can't attend the Oscars for the next 10 years, a whole decade, man. They gave him joints, right? Is it really a big deal? Some people be like, damn, that's over the top. Other people is like, well, he's still making movies, still making his money. He can still get awards. He just can't show up to the Oscars. All right. Well, in the grand scheme of things, when you step back, it's like, okay, it's not that bad. My man still is rich. He still got a big ass house. He still could go anywhere in the world and do what he do. So, I mean, he can't go to the Oscars. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's all types of news, and, Jada, laughing after the slap being fake, how Chris could have defended himself. I mean, everybody's throwing in their 2 cents, and let me just back up, and I'm not talking about this Chris and Will thing, because I feel some of the Chris and Will talk and Jada, it's all forced news. Of course, it's because it's clickable, it's clickbait. If you see the names in the title, then of course you're going to click it, and that's what people want. People want eyes. The attention is the primary business that people are in. They want your attention. They want your eyes, and so people can start talking about you. But anyway, I talk about it because there are little things, little knick-knack things that I think it's great to talk about. It's just to make mention of, as far as giving my input, and I'll move on. So anyway, listen, Chris Rock, he went through a lot as a youngster. I didn't know there's one of the pieces that went through. He had dealt with a lot of trauma as far as bullying is concerned, and a lot of people got to pay attention to how Chris is doing, because he was taking therapy, or he is taking that. He definitely taking therapy now, because I tell you, there was a little video piece of him talking about what he went through and how he's dealing with it, and he's coming to terms as of late, probably in the last decade. And now that, come on, man, what a way to fall off the truck, as far as dealing with your anxiety and everything that's going on with Chris, get slapped in front of millions of people. I mean, listen, I'm not downplaying it at all what took place, and I think it was egregious in what Will Smith, but understanding these two guys, these two powerhouses in the business, they all have their own idiosyncrasies and their issues, and it comes out, and people are human beings, man. People can only take so much, and I'm going to get into a little bit of that a little later. So I mean, that's why I tweeted a couple times. There were some people that said some things, and I said no courts, no police, black folk will deal with this. And the reason why I say that is because the system is set up as people already know that there is an inherent bias built into the court system. So when black folk get up in front of the judge, I always know, and the black community always know that they're going to be much more heavy-handed when it comes to how they're going to judge a case when it comes to black folks. So I always say that black people could deal with their own issues without involving the legal system, and we could work things out. I'm hoping that Chris and Will can work things out. I think Will should give him, it shouldn't be left at an apology. I think he should give him, cut him a check personally between themselves, him passing over some stocks, cut him in on a deal on a movie that Chris Rock is not necessarily involved with. And I think, and I thought about this. I think the dopest thing that you can do as far as an apology, and also having a monetary tack on to that apology, is that whatever money is made for the next film, instead of giving to Chris, because Chris already has money. Chris has plenty of cash. He's good. He's a very successful comedian. Matter of fact, as they said, his tour dates were selling out like hotcakes after this whole thing, because of course people want to get a little personal information of how Chris is going to deal with this. But I think a great situation is, what do you give a man that already has everything at the stage of his career? And I think what you can do, instead of giving him money on a deal that you're going to make out on a movie that he's not necessarily involved with, instead of cutting him a check, what would be good? Cut his children a check. Chris Rock is good, but if you really want to be sincere about the apology and correct what you did wrong, cut the kids a check. However, I know he has two daughters, as far as I know. Make it go directly in their name, so and whatever, so they can earn forever on whatever project that's selling. I think that's great, because you're not giving it. I think that's the greatest way you could pay a man back at his level. Give whatever monies to his kids directly, and let them earn on whatever property that your movie property that you've made and you're making money off of. So that's my take on it. And as I said, black folk could deal with this internally, and how the judicial system is. The whole thing with Juicy Smollett, as much as everybody hated what Juicy Smollett did, all right, people said, when he got his the charges, whatever the verdict was on him, it was like, well, dude, how can you go to jail doing something that you didn't do anything to anybody? You did it to yourself. So him getting what he get, it was like, as much as people want to chime in, be like, well, he deserves what he gets, Juicy Smollett. I'm like, there was a lot of black folk that was like, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. And it's the same thing in how we feel. The same way as far as Will Smith, even like I said, in the whole grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. He still got his money, he got his 10 years. And a lot of things that how the Academy or Hollywood was going to deal with Will. I mean, look, put it in perspective. Will has had a clean record for 30 goddamn years. 30 years he's been clean. He was the model actor. I mean, this guy could do no wrong. Hollywood loved him. Okay, so my man was human, and he's a flawed human, like everybody has their own flaws, and he acted out on a situation that everybody is pretty much understands that there's a deeper thing to it. It's not just the slap. There's a lot of other things that's happening within his family that people in the public should mind their fucking business on, and also, you know, how he's really handling it. And I think it was a break in judgment, and he fell into a lapse, and it happened. So, but the same way how they can want to be so heavy-handed on Will after such a clean record in his last 30 years, and then use the whole situation. Remember that white woman? There's a recent story that broke on a white woman that killed her black boyfriend. Her name is Courtney Taylor. So it turns out in this case down in Miami, crazy ass Miami. I didn't even know it was Miami until I looked this up. I was like, fuck, Florida is something else. Let me tell you, there was something going on, and it ended up where this Courtney Taylor stabbed him, and he died when he got to the hospital. And she went and did some, you know, white woman tears. She cried, and she was like she was gonna hurt herself. And it was something, I forgot. It was I think it was called the Baker Act or something in Florida, where if you're gonna say that you're gonna kill yourself, they're gonna put you in some mental institution or something like that, just for a review or hold you over just to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. Well, that woman is out, and then she's out, and matter of fact, someone filmed her at a hotel, some swanky hotel. She had a hat on, and be like, wait a second, you seem to be just fine. You don't have any problems, because you're right here chilling, doing your duty after you killed your boyfriend. Now, this is the thing. It's not so much as her being out and about, right? Catching her, filming, who knows what's going on in the mind. But the fact is, she got the benefit of the doubt as far as what took place. Listen, a life was lost. In comparison to Will Smith slapping somebody, in this case, a life was lost. And you have to figure out what happened, why it happened, how did it happen, and who is truly at fault. Because at the end of the day, a human life was lost. So was it a crime of passion? Was it something that was set up? But the fact is, when it comes to situation, the presumption of guilt is on black people, and the presumption of innocence is on white people whenever there's a situation that comes up. That's why I say, black people, this is going to be an internal thing as far as between Chris and between Will. So I definitely think they should scoop this woman up, and as far as I know, this is like an open and shut thing. Oh, she was gonna, you know, hurt herself, and it looks like there's no criminal charges gonna be put against this woman. No investigation, no nothing. No, she just says that, you know, I'm gonna hurt myself, and that's it. She moves on with her life. So she snuffs out another human soul, right? Takes a life, and now she just goes out and lives her business, and she gonna be back on IG and the lickety slick, right? She gonna get right. So that's what I'm saying, that there's a difference on how the court system deals with black bodies as opposed to white bodies. The presumption of guilt for black people and the presumption of innocence for white folks. And they go out and they do something heinous, but then all of a sudden it's like hands off. Oh my God, white women tears. That's a precious thing, man. I would love to bottle that motherfucker. I think it would have helped Michael Morbius, more so than the elixir that he created. And I'm gonna talk about that a little later. That trash of a movie. Oh my God. So anyway, moving on. So Ketanji Brown Jackson, she's taking the seat. Congrats to her. Let's have a round of applause for that. This is dopeness. Okay, what does that mean? We'll see what happens. There's been a lot of analysis on what the significance of Ketanji Brown Jackson will be for taking that seat. Who knows? They say she has a stellar career. I really haven't researched it. She's done a fantastic job as far as in terms of law and everything. all the roles that she has taken, and now she's finally gotten a seat on the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, and we'll see how she does. I'm not going to give my thing. All I can say is let's see what she does with this role now that she has it. Does it bring balance, a little bit of balance to the court as far as the opposing side, because she's more quote unquote liberal as opposed to the conservative justices, the Supreme Court justices right now. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to get into a deep dive on Ketanji Brown. All I'm going to say is congrats, lady. Congrats, sister. You got the seat. Hopefully she does well in that seat. Let's move on. Los Angeles agreed to spend $3 billion. $3 billion. I'm going to say it one more time. $3 billion over the next 5 years to house the growing homeless problem. Let's see how this turns out. I think it was in the what was it? The Los Angeles Times, I think. And they're actually going to get some money together to deal with the homeless problem, the growing homeless problem. And I just spoke to my guy. I spoke to him 2 months ago. On the growing homeless problem is spilling over Skid Row, and hey man, long overdue. Let's see what happens when they actually how they can actually spend that money, what department is going to go in, what type of housing is going to be built, constructed, how you're going to deal with these people, because it's just not throwing people in four walls. You have to figure out, okay, everybody has a different story. What exactly made you homeless? Do you have an addiction problem? Do you have a mental health issue? Are you a blue collar worker that just hit rough times and you can't really afford the home that you had before, and that's why you became homeless? So there are so many stories on why people are homeless in LA, and it's just not LA, it's in cities across America. How are we going to actually deal with this? So I think that's important to really to handle, because this is not something that you can toss at the wall and see what sticks. I think you really have to get your hands dirty, get inside on this, and figure out how this money is going to be spent in the best way possible. Hopefully they don't put people in freaking straw houses and cheap houses, and it's all going to fall apart in 2 years. Let's see what happens. So it seems promising, but you know how politics goes, man. Somebody's always got their money in their hand in a honey pot. All right, so the next big thing, Moon Knight. Loved it. The first episode aired on Disney Plus 2 weeks ago. I really enjoyed the first episode, and it doesn't have to be full of action and explosions and all this. No, it was simply, of course, obviously the first episode has to be the introductory episode of all the main characters in some way, shape, as how the story should unfold. I think Oscar Isaac did a terrific job portraying Stephen Grant, Ethan Hawke as Arthur Harrow, and all the other supporting cast. I think it was fantastic, really setting up the story as far as who Stephen Grant is, and of course what's his name, Mark Spector, the other. So yeah, it's interesting. Interesting. I love the cinematography and the choices made to display the split personalities of Stephen Grant, as what you've seen in the trailers. They continued that theme throughout in the first episode. I think it was very sophisticated in its presentation. It was light. It was fun. It was enough action to get past the first episode. I'm gonna get into the second one just now. It was great setup, and that says a lot about who is doing the show, as far as the director, the script writers, all the people that did the proper backstory to really build a sound story. So on to the next episode. The episode, of course, you got to take it one step up. They got more into the conflict between Mark and Steven. Oscar Isaac continues to do a great performance of both of these characters. So now in this episode, the second one, they bring in his wife. Of course, they bring in the other character, the other Moon Knight character, of course. To be honest, I really never got into Moon Knight. When they introduced Moon Knight, I thought it was kind of like a cheap rendition or copy of Batman. So, but I did like the fact that he had the split personality things. That I think that was a different take on a superhero character. But I never really got into Moon Knight. I was like, okay. But I can get into this. If I didn't get into the comic, I could definitely get into the live action version. So in this, they brought in his wife Layla. They got into a little bit more on who Arthur Harrow was, of course. Hey, spoilers, people, spoilers. I'm gonna let you know now. 3, 2, spoilers coming. 1. Turns out Arthur Harrow used to be a Moon Knight, and it seems like Khonshu, if I'm saying that right, took on a lot of different bodies and used people as avatars to work his powers and spirit through them to exact justice. So they got into that a little bit, and then fighting over this scarab that Mark Spector holds, and it was dope, man. It's had a lot more action, or really to tick it up a couple of notches, and they sure enough did. I had a good time watching that show. So if anybody is interested, and if you don't mind the spoilers that I just gave, check it out, man. Check out the next episode of, I mean, by the time this airs, the 3rd episode is gonna be ready. So, but I'll say I'm really liking what they're doing right now with Moon Knight. Now, to let you know, a lot of people, if they felt that these Marvel hero series on Disney Plus was kind of gonna be whack, no, it's not. I think it rivals the big screen, and I think in this situation, it gives these series, these episodes give an opportunity to dive a little deeper on a character's backstory and to build out the world a little bit more, where sometimes you don't have that time and within the budget of really doing movies. And sometimes people are successful, but for the characters that may not have as much the executives' attention as the main ones, to say Superman and Batman, and they'll give them room to build out these really fantastic stories. The lesser known characters have the ability to do that on Disney Plus, and sure enough, it looks like it's turning out like that for Moon Knight. So I'm looking forward to more. I'm really enjoying what Oscar Isaac is doing, man. So now let me give you a little opposite. Let me see. You want to give me a second, folks? Let me just up that a little bit. All right. So let me just give you the opposite of what I felt with Moon Knight. I saw Morbius over the last weekend, and oh my God, yo, let me tell you something. I already heard it. I heard it was trash. I was like, all right, like, you know, and I was like, I was concerned. I was like, should I spend the money on this? But I was like, you know what? Let me spend the money on seeing this Morbius, because sometimes, you know, good information can run away from itself, and bad information can run away from itself. And sometimes movies don't get a fair shake until you watch it. But I did go spend my money on these goddamn tickets to watch Morbius. Now I can say that because I saw the damn movie. Let me tell you. So let me be fair. Let me split it up. I will split it up. I will split it up between good and bad. All right. Here we go. And there's spoilers in this one. 3, 2, 1. And I don't think people don't care. I didn't care when I was hearing the first thoughts of Morbius. I was like, oh fuck, well, whatever, it is what it is, right? So I didn't care what spoilers I was gonna hear, because I had a feeling that this wasn't gonna be good. So all right, let's go through the good. Jared Leto, great actor, loved what he did. He's a fantastic actor. That's one good. I have no problems with Jared Leto. He's having an Idris moment right now. Jared Leto is having an Idris moment right now, because to me, Idris is such a waste. Everybody knows how I feel about Idris Elba. He's such, to me, he has such potential, such a great actor. He just needs the right director to direct him. He needs the right role, and he will blow it out, Idris. But somehow he just, I don't know, it just, you know, he can't get that right. You know what I mean? And I feel that Jared is going through that right now. I think Jared is a fantastic actor. He's doing what he has Michael Morbius. Great. I like some other actors. I liked his man, Milo, I think the dude's name. I forgot what's his name. Let me see what this guy's real name is. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get this guy's name. Morbius. What's his name? Actor. Was that the guy's name? Let me just put Cass here, and it'll come up. All right, so I like Matt Smith. He played Lucius, I think, Lucius Crown, whatever. So, I liked how he played the character. I think it was kind of quirky and goofy the way he was taking it. I thought it was a different play on it. But who else is a great actor? I have to say Tyrese Gibson is a great actor. I really like what Tyrese does with the material that he gets. He can really do it, but again, I think he's not getting the right roles. I think he, I don't know who's his agent, but this guy, I see every time I see it on screen, I see it, I'm like, I want to pull it. It's like, I want to pull it out. Like, yeah, yes, okay. That's what I'm talking about. Cause Tyrese is a singer, right? So he's been acting for quite a while, but I think it's time for Tyrese to start stepping up and taking more major roles as a lead character or something. Everybody knows him from Transformers, everything, but he, this is a job. He took this and he did his thing. He played the I think it was a detective or whoever it was, the law enforcement with Simon Stroud along with Al Madrigal. He played Agent Rodriguez, and I think for what the material that they were given, that's what they were given. But I see so much in Tyrese Gibson. I really like what he does. I'm just waiting for him. I really would like him to play Jon Stewart as Green Lantern. I that's my thing. But it seems like I don't know. Let's see how it goes. If he can't play Green Lantern, Jon Stewart, maybe he should be Icon. That's another character that's a dope. He's a black character that I think he can fit the role for if he does it right. Really fills it out. But anyway, so Jared did his thing. Another good part, the CGI. I love the CGI. It was fantastic, and the way the transfer, the vampire transformations, I liked. It's in certain scenes I was like, I can't believe this is CGI. When they did close-ups of Morbius in the vampire, I was like, oh man, it was great. I loved it. The whole Morbius world of how he kind of senses the world, because he's on heightened senses because of his superpowers and everything like that. Amazing. Loved it. Fantastic. The only thing that was a stretch, let's just say it was a stretch, but it's a comic book movie, right? Because people understand that he had a debilitating disease, that he mixed the DNA of a bat with human blood or something like that, made some concoction so he can cure himself. So I understand him getting the attributes, the heightened attributes of a bat in him. The flight thing, I don't understand how that happens. This DNA, splicing DNA makes you fly. I don't know, but you know what? It's a movie. Who cares? It's a superhero movie. It's Marvel, right? Who cares, right? Just go with it. So that's a small thing. That was a small thing. So that's it. That's all the good that I have. That is all the good that I have on this movie. But that's what I said. All right, that's what I said. Like, yo, I loved it. And, look, there was my wife in the background. So I'm gonna let you know, the first act, I think 35 minutes, fantastic. 35, 40 minutes. I thought it was a great setup. The pacing was great, because they got to move the story along. I get it. I understand. Like, let's get to the Morbius parts, but you got to set up the story, right? So of course they didn't want it to drag. So I liked it. So everything was good. By the time it got to oh my God, like the second act, and it went downhill. It went downhill. So the first bad, the script, where I understand what is going on. I'm tired of the bully scenes, the little kid bully scenes that was at the beginning. I don't know. Is that a lot in Marvel? Because I felt like I was watching it. I was like, okay, another kid bully scene. All right. So you're getting the reason why this person was the way that they are, because of course some background back when they were a young kid. That was the source of their, misguided ways. I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the other, if there were other young kid bully scenes. I think it was definitely Captain America. Of course, it was Spider-Man. I'm thinking with any other, I don't know, for some reason I see like it's kind of like becoming cliche to put in a young kid bully scene. I don't know, I feel like I've seen that so many times already watching Marvel and these superhero stories. I'm like, it's becoming formulaic. It's becoming formulaic. So yeah, anyway. So, you know, everybody, you know, I'm watching the movie. I've seen a lot of Marvel. Everybody's seen movies, right? And I just, at some point, I was like, okay, okay, I got it. Even at the beginning, even though it was, I understood the setup. I was like, okay, yeah, let's come on, let's get to it. Let's get to it. I understand it at the beginning, but again, like I said, it started to dip. So the script was like out of it. I'm like, what? I don't get it. So, all right. The other bad thing, which was a good thing, was the CGI. I love the CGI. As I said, when Morbius being the vampire, very realistic. But the CGI got bad after a while because, I don't know, maybe this is not a big thing. I started getting tired of the quick transformations from regular human face to vampire face. I was like, okay, I get it. All right. But that's not even a big thing. That was something like in the background. The real thing that got me upset was the freaking end scene, the crescendo, the third act, the big battle between Michael Morbius and his boy Milo. It was hard to see. I was like, why is it so dark? The whole battle took place at night. I was like, what? And then it was this one big blow that Morbius gave to Milo, and I think vice versa as well. I couldn't see anything. I didn't understand it. I was like, who? What happened? Why is it so goddamn dark? I can't make shit up. What's going on? Yeah, it was crazy. I couldn't make head or tails of that whole battle. Now, the funny thing is, I was watching, there's a YouTube channel called Corridor Crew, and they're a VFX crew, right? That I'm sure they did major movies, if I remember it correct. What they do on their YouTube channel is they review the CGI of movies, good and bad, and stunts in movies. They bring on stunt people and they say, hey, how's this scene look? Does it look realistic? They do very well for themselves. They have a huge following, of course. They do great work. But I think I got it from them. They said, I think they were reviewing Wonder Woman, and they said that when the movie studio decides to do something at night, they do it for a reason, because if the CGI is not good, they use the shadow of night to kind of mask over the bad CGI. And you know, that's just a little trick that they do when things are not looking good CGI wise. They say, you know what, just put it in the dark and, you know, put that scene, and it just didn't look good. So, all right. The end scene to Wonder Woman when she was dealing with Cheetah, I think her name was, it was at night. It was decent for what it was. It is what it was, right? But this, oh my God, you really couldn't make it. Was super dark. I'm like, what the fuck? It was bad. I couldn't make nothing out. All right. So after that, there's a relationship thing that I didn't understand between Michael Morbius and the woman scientist that he was partnering to make this cure. They were together from the very beginning as partners in the lab, right? Of course, my wife is with me. She said she saw it. I didn't see a goddamn thing. I was like, what? It didn't show that there was any interest or relationshipy things happening in the first. There was, you know how it is, the smile, the little glance of the hand, or them mentioning something in a conversation about going out. Like the movie will let the audience know that these people had a relationship in the past, or there was a potential to be a relationship, and it may happen in the movie at some point, right? I did not see that. All of a sudden, there was a scene towards the end of the movie, right? I think after he saves her the first time, and they're on the roof, and he says, "Come close to me," something like that. Come close. So I'm thinking, whatever, man. So he says, "Come close to me," and I'm like, could you let me do this? Thank you. He said, "Come close to me," right? He says some stupid thing, right? So then they're looking at each other and they're coming close, and he says some stupid words. And I'm like, wait a second, they're not gonna do what they think they're gonna do. They're not gonna do that. No, they're not gonna do that. They kissed? What? Where? Where did out of nowhere? They're just kissing? What? I don't understand why this is happening. I was like, where in this movie did they show that they were in relationshipy? But again, maybe I have to see it again. Maybe I have to see it again to see if I missed any cues. But I was watching the movie. My eyes were open. I was not tired. I was watching this movie. So yeah, they did the kissing scene. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. And the other thing to me was script wise bad was they let the audience know that it was Milo too quick. It was boring. All right, Milo did it. Now what? So Milo saw Michael Morbius struggling with this new curse that he had. He was locked in the glass container, and he find out that when he calmed down, whatever, he gave Michael blood or whatever like that. He calmed down and he says, oh my God, Michael, you look so great. So even before that, when he entered the lab, you see in the foreground, you see Milo walking in the foreground, you see the 2 vials there of the, right. So you know, okay, at some point he may steal these vials, right? But they don't tell you that. So Michael Morbius is going through the story with Milo saying, no, man, this is terrible. You need the cure. I'm telling you. So he was like, oh, so you can be healthy and I gotta die? Yo, the hell with you? And he's, Michael in his frustration, he tells Milo to get out, and he quickly transforms into the vampire, I guess, to show Milo, oh my God, this guy really has something. So, and then Milo leaves. That's it. You don't see anything, right? But then eventually you find out that Milo was the one involved. At some point he took the serum, which you don't see, right? Or took with the concoction. And then when Michael gets locked up, he thinks he's killing people, and it's really not him, it was Milo. And they give you that right away that it was Milo. So there was no suspense. There's no let's try to figure out. That was it. Maybe if they wrote into the script, and I gotta say my nephew gave some a good point on this. Maybe if they had other people involved and they also took the serum, so Michael Morbius has to go out and stop these people from killing people. So and you think it's this person that did it, but no, you think it's this person that didn't know, and then you finally kind of at the end is, oh snap, it's Milo. Could people have figured that out? Possibly, but but just don't give it away, because if you're gonna say at the very beginning that Milo was the one killing people, you gotta have a badass, you have to have a couple of scenes where they're just some badass action, and it's gonna you release something in the script, like a bigger part that people didn't realize of the story, that it's the wow factor, because you gave away the whole thing. Okay, Milo has it, so all you have left is the battle or battles, or giving away something that's bigger that we didn't realize that's in the story. They didn't do that, so of course they're gonna have the big fight at the end, but it was so it was boring. There was nothing to it. So that was it. The other bad part was the mid-credit scene. Oh my God, the mid-credit scene. I don't understand why they put this in the movie, and I'm pretty sure it had something to deal with the suits. And the other thing, I think it was a mid-credit scene. I forgot, either it was in the main movie or in the mid-credit scene. So this is the part. The woman, the wife or the girlfriend, whoever she was, she turns out to live. So at the end of the movie, she dies. Milo kills or gives her a fatal blow because he's trying to draw out Michael Morbius, right? He gives her the fatal blow. Michael Morbius senses it, goes to her. They have the final scene, the cliche, the hero screams to the heavens that, now he's in this emotional thing, and right, that happens, right? Something happens in a split-second, microsecond, where I think she tastes his blood or a drop. I don't know where this blood came from. You see it, but you don't make the connection right away. You just see it happen, and then when you see this after credit scene, she wakes up, she's alive, new hair. She looks like she has a choker on or different clothes somewhere. She just wakes up like, oh my God. So I'm like, wait a sec, she's alive? How? You mean that happened because of this little? So if you were seeing this at home streaming, you would have to rewind it and say, was this where so she's now a vampire? What the fuck? What happened? I thought she was dead. What? Oh, that was trash. The second thing, the mid-credit scene was Jane with Adrian Toomes, the Vulture from the Spider-Man movies. So you see the scene from No Way Home. I think that's what the last one, all Spider-Mans, how the sky is cracking, because everybody's seen that Spider-Man. I hope you've seen it, because there's nothing but spoilers in this one. So they show that scene at the end of Morbius movie in the after credit. The sky is cracking, everything goes back. Then you see Adrian Toomes in an orange jumpsuit in jail, and you see this light surrounding him, and he notices all this light. He's like, yo, what's going on? You see him like, oh my God, what's going on? And then this fucking guy figures out he's in an alternate universe. What? How, bro? You're Adrian Toomes, right? You remember who Adrian Toomes was. He owned a company that was pulling together the scrap metal to make some money for his family. That was in the other Spider-Man, the Marvel Spider-Man movie, right, with Tom Holland. So he of course, they toss him out. He can't make any money, but he uses the spare alien technology to make the Vulture. That's how he comes up with the Vulture suit, right? So this guy, he got arrested in that Spider-Man movie. So in this Sony movie, all right, Sony taking the lead in this Morbius joint. So the Earth, the sky, as you know, Doctor Strange puts everything back together. He pops up in jail, and he's looking at himself, something going on. He's like, man, I could get used to this world. I'm like, wait a second. He's just a regular guy that owns a company. How does he know he's in an alternate universe? He just pops up in this. What? That's so stupid. And then they go to the scene, the news scene, where he says, Adrian Toomes pops up in an empty cell. We don't know how he ended up there, so there's no reason to hold him. Okay. All right. So they let him go. So the final part of this mid-credit scene, you see Michael Morbius driving at night, of course, at night again. He's driving, he gets out in front of this in front of this house in this field, right, in the middle of this field. He looks over the horizon, he sees some disturbances of, waves or whatever. So he throws out his claws because he doesn't know what's coming. All of a sudden, you know who pops up? You know who fucking pops up? The Vulture in the suit. I'm like, wait a second, bruh. Wait a second. Wait a second. How, Sway? How? Why is he in the suit? So he says, I'm glad you answered my call, Michael. There's a problem that I'm just paraphrasing it. There's a problem we both have, and it's Spider-Man. And we gotta, basically, they're teaming up to fight. I'm like, wait a second, time out. You in an alternate universe, my man. How you know where the suit was? You in a totally different universe. Now, remember in No Way Home with the Goblin, right? In the Goblin, all right? Remember when he meets Aunt May, right? Because they're trying to gather up all the people that got pulled into other alternate universes, into Tom Holland's Spider-Man's universe, and he has captured. Everybody knows that, right? So remember, he rushes to Aunt May's place where she works, so they're helping the homeless people, and you see the Goblin right there. I forgot the guy's name. Anyway, so he's like totally innocent. He's not trying to hurt Aunt May. You remember what he said? He says, I don't know, my business is not there anymore. My son, I can't find him. I don't even live with. So obviously he's trying to say this is an alternate universe that your character doesn't exist in. So nothing is lined up in any way. It's a totally different universe. Of course he would say that. I get that, right? So now you have Adrian Toomes get zipped into this universe. Everything is in its right place. Maybe the mailbox was on the left side of the street instead of the right side of the street. But other than that, everything is right where they should be. So he gets the suit. He finds the suit. How do you know? Oh my God. He finds the suit and he says this whole thing. I thought it was totally ridiculous. I think they shoehorned in these mid-credit scenes to build out this because what they're saying that what's my man name from Spider-Man? Amazing. Andrew Garfield is possibly gonna have his third Spider-Man movie. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It was totally screwed up. I don't know what the hell was happening. I'm sure the Sony studio people was like, oh my God, this is doing fantastic Spider-Man with Tom Holland. It's making, oh my God, who knew that they were going to have such an emotional tug when Spider-Man got blipped out in the 5 years at the end of the friggin', and now he's back, and oh my God, we got all the Spider-Mans who are doing the Spider-Man meme. We got to get in on this. Yo, it's so trash. It was terrible. Morbius, it was bad. Again, Jared Leto was a great actor. Everybody did their thing as far as actors is concerned, but that Morbius movie was bad. On a 1 to 10, I give it like a 6.5 or 6. It was terrible. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I appreciate you tuning in. I will not miss next week. I will be right there with you guys with a fresh new show the following, of course, next week. And yeah, man, we're gonna have fun again for that new episode. So I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. For the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go-round. From right here to your town, we out.